series that we've been calling Get the Edge. It's been a series that talking about kind of wisdom-related principles that we can put to practice in our lives to give us an advantage in life. Instead of living on the edge all the time, we're learning how to get the edge and try to make the most out of every situation. In week 1, we talked about the edge of the playbook, and we talked about how God's Word is the playbook and how we need to get into it and understand it and look at the wisdom that's contained in there. And if we become a student of the Word, if we become a student of the Word, we become a student of wisdom, and as a student of wisdom, we learn principles and develop habits that influence the decisions that we make. In the next week, we talked about the edge of direction, and talked about 4 different elements to living a purpose-filled life and putting purpose in our life. One of the questions we said we need to ask ourselves is, what do I want to do more than anything else? And to live a life filled with purpose, we need to guard our heart, watch our mouths, fix our eyes on Jesus, and point our feet in the direction that God wants us to go. Take care of those 4 things, and wisdom comes, and we'll be able to find that purpose in our life. 2 weeks ago, we talked about the edge of excellence, which is committing yourself to a life of constant and never-ending improvement, getting better and better. Each day we ask ourselves, what can I change about myself today? What can I do better today? What can I learn today? And so we try to do those things and grab the edge that way. And then now tonight we're going to look at a 4th principle. We're calling it the edge of the boomerang. And what we're talking about is the rule of you get what you give. You know how a boomerang, you throw it, and if you throw it right, I've never had very good luck with it. I had one time, and I'd throw it, and I'd have to have the dog go get it. But you'd throw it, and they're supposed to come back to you, if you do it right. Well, this is the practice of getting what you give, or what you do comes back to you. Some people call this karma, as if it belongs in another religion, but it really doesn't. This is a principle that's found throughout Scripture, throughout the Bible, in the Gospels, in the letters of Paul, and specifically in the book of Proverbs. And Galatians 6:7 says this: "Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap." That's called the law of the harvest. Any of you plant a garden this year? Or any time? Okay. If you plant a garden, you don't plant peas and expect corn to grow, right?
Usually not.
You don't plant carrots and then get mad because there isn't onions in your carrot patch. You get what you sow. You reap what you sow. And depending upon your perspective of things and how you're living your life, that could be good news or bad news. You get what you sow. If you're sowing bad things, bad's going to come back. And so that would be bad news. If you're sowing good things will come back. Billy Sunday was an evangelist many, many years ago. And he said this: many people spend their early years sowing wild oats and their later years praying for crop failure. And I've heard it said that some people spend the entire week sowing their wild oats and then come to church on Sunday and pray for crop failure. So, we got to be careful how we're living. And if we're honest, I'm guessing that each one of us here at one point or another would admit, at least to ourselves, that we've prayed for crop failure here and there. We've prayed that something that we did wouldn't come back to bite us. There's no such thing as crop failure, though. There is, though, forgiveness. There right steps to try to make everything right. But the bottom line is that we do ultimately reap what we sow. God is right. So when the Bible says you reap what you sow, some may hear it as a threat and others may hear it as a promise. But I want you to know that today's message is about making this principle a promise and making it the foundation pretty much of everything that we do. And if you've been planting the wrong kind of seeds in the past, and by the past I mean anytime you've pulled up into this church parking lot and came in to eat, if you have been sowing wild oats or foolish oats or rebellious oats or lazy oats or selfish oats or any other kind of ill-advised oats, then yeah, there's going to be times when the consequences of your behavior are going to boomerang back on you and you're going to have to deal with them. Everyone experiences that. But here's kind of what I want you to know. There's a great deal of power in this promise. The sooner you begin sowing the right kind of seed, the sooner you're going to experience the right kind of harvest. Solomon said this, Proverbs 11:17, "A kind man benefits himself, but a cruel man brings trouble on himself." And he's talking about the principle of the boomerang here. You get what you give. What you throw out there in life eventually comes back in your direction. And what you eventually do is, it's going to find its way back to where you're at. So don't be deceived about that, Paul said. Don't live as if there's no such thing as consequences. We all know that there's consequences. Right? There's consequences to everything we do. Solomon said this, Proverbs 11:18, "The wicked man earns deceptive wages, but he who sows righteousness reaps a sure reward." So instead of dreading the threat of you get what you sow, let's start today treating this principle as a promise that says, you know, I'm going to sow good things and I expect good things back. Let's build our lives and direct our actions on the foundation of that promise. And today I want to talk about 3 different areas where we can put this principle of the boomerang to work for us. It applies to every area of your life, every minute of your life, and every small detail of your life. And today we're going to look at 3 big areas, and each area that we look at, I'm going to kind of give you a couple of suggestions for some first steps or maybe some next steps you can take. The first area I want us to look at is the way you do your work. Okay, the way you do your work. A few years ago, Business Insider reported a study that shows that the average worker gets 3 hours of real work done in an 8-hour shift. That's not very good. 3 hours in a real 8-hour shift. I don't know when that study was done, but if it was before Facebook launched, I'm guessing that time went down now.
Yep.
Inefficiency at work can sometimes be blamed on management, and it can sometimes be blamed on organizational structure, but I'm sure that if we were all completely honest, we would admit that we could be more intentional in the way that we do our jobs. I hear a lot of people say, and I've heard many pastors say, it makes no difference how well I do my job or how poorly I do my job. Nobody notices. I've heard people say, why bother going the extra mile when no one will ever appreciate it? And if you've been working at all, or if you're looking for a job at some point in your life, guys, gals, you'll probably feel that way. You know, nobody ever notices when I do a good job. They only ever notice when I screw up. But I'll tell you why we should care about how we do our jobs. Proverbs 14:23. All hard work brings a profit. Proverbs 10:4. Lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 22:29. Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will serve before kings. He will not serve before obscure men. The Bible teaches that the effort that we put into our job will ultimately pay off, and it will be according to the measure of our efforts. Now, we get a little impatient, at least I do. We want the payoff to come now. Come on, I was good today. Come on, give me my payoff. We want to put in a few extra hours or a few extra minutes, and we want to receive our promotion right away. But that's not typically how it works. But over the long haul, if you're consistent, you're going to reap the harvest of success. In the book of Colossians, Paul says this, Colossians 3:23, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for men." And that's really the key. When you're working, I want you to, whether it's working around the house or working for a job or whatever it is, if you're in ministry and you're doing that kind of stuff, do your work as if you're doing it for Jesus Christ. Because guess what? That's when you're going to really be working the hardest. Don't work with a, well, that's close enough kind of an attitude. And certainly not expecting immediate results or the applause of men. I don't know about you, but if I go to a doctor, I want the doctor to know what they're talking about. I don't want the doctor to say, well, I think you got a cold. That's close enough. I think it might be your gallbladder. That's close enough. Or if you're riding a horse and you say, well, I think that horse is broke. That's close enough. That's not good. We need to work with an attitude that says, I'm going to give everything I have to the task at hand. I'm going to do my best because I'm working as to the Lord. So we want to, the way we use, or the way we do our jobs. The second thing is the way we use our words. Proverbs has a lot to say about words that we choose and words that we use. And it really is a habit that we develop. Solomon said this, "The tongue that brings healing is a tree of life," Proverbs 15:4. And I think that should be our goal, that we want to speak words that are going to bring healing instead of words that bring hurt. Don't you think? I don't know about you, but I'd much rather hear, hey, you're doing a good job, than, hey, you're a knucklehead, get out of my way. Right? Proverbs 11:17, "A kind man benefits from himself, but a cruel man brings trouble on himself." That's kind of the principle of the boomerang at work in your life. Now, kindness involves a lot more than just the words you choose to use, but that's where it often starts. Kindness begins with the words spoken. Chuck Swindoll tells about a college president whose office wall bears a simple yet powerful sign containing 3 mere words: kindness spoken here. The Bible also tells us that life and death is in the power of the tongue. And we need to choose. Are we going to choose life or death? We're going to speak life into people's lives, or are we going to speak death into people's lives? 2 Corinthians, when Paul was talking about how his ministry was and how authentic it was, he says this, "We prove by ourselves by our purity, our understanding, our patience, our kindness, our sincere love, and the power of the Holy Spirit." Imagine that. The Apostle Paul was saying there that kindness was important as perseverance, holiness, and truth. That's why in Ephesians he said, "Don't let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit all who listen." If you will change the way you talk to people, you'll find out that they appreciate it. They'll appreciate kindness. It's the right thing to do, to be kind to others. If you don't believe me, just read Facebook. I keep saying that, but Facebook can be a nasty, nasty place. It's ridiculous how mean people can be behind a keyboard. They think it's anonymous, nobody knows who they are, and so they just lash out like crazy. And especially around politics. Politics and religion, it's nasty. What's more, though, when you're kind to others, Solomon says, it comes back your way. There's that boomerang thing. Your kindness benefits you. Kindness begins with the words that you use. So I'm encouraging you tonight to take a close look at how you speak and ultimately how you treat with others, treat others around you. It begins with the words you speak, but then I think it flows into the actions that you take as well. And here's the third area, the way you handle your wealth. And some of you just went, I don't have to worry about that, I got no wealth. Well, good, he's not talking to me on this one, I can check out. But I want to tell you something. Compared to the rest of the world, the poorest of the poor in the United States are incredibly wealthy. Incredibly wealthy. I've been to the Philippines and I've been to a slum in Mexico where people live on $300 a year. $300 a year. We spend that on getting horses trimmed. If you get shoes, you're, even more than that. But $300 a year these people live on. And I read one time that if you came to church in a vehicle, you're about the top 2% wealthy people of the world. There are many who would consider everyone in this room at least a little bit wealthy. What I'm really talking about when I say wealth is just the way you handle your money. The things you do with your money. Your attitude toward money reflects maybe more than anything else what you really believe about the goodness of God and the faithfulness of God and the promises of Scripture. Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. It's interesting that your heart tends to follow your money. That means that we need to make sure we're investing our money in the right place, distributing it in the right place. The Bible tells us that we're to be generous with our money. It also tells us that we're to be responsible with our money, and we're to be strategic with our money. Proverbs 11, Solomon says, one man gives freely, it gains even more. Another withholds unduly, and that word unduly is key here. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. He's talking about the principle of the boomerang. He's saying in verse 25 here then, a generous man will prosper, he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. And kind of along those lines, Jesus said in Luke 6:38, given it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and it will be poured into your lap. And there again, he's talking about the principle of the boomerang. It works in the area of our finances as well as in every other area of life. The more you give, the more that comes back to you. And when you bless others, you are blessed. When you refresh others, you're going to be refreshed. Solomon also said, he who is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward him for what he has done. Now, this isn't about emptying your savings account and maxing out your credit cards and giving it all to world missions or giving it all to a soup kitchen somewhere. But it is about looking for more ways to be generous than we're really inclined to be naturally. I think a lot of times we think, well, I can't afford to give to somebody because, I guess what I'm saying is it comes down to this. Do you own your money or does your money own you? Do you use your money or does your money use you? I don't think it's wrong to have nice things. I don't think it's wrong to enjoy what God has given us. But if that gets in the way of helping others, then we start having a little problem. Then we got to do a heart check. Allow yourself sometimes to give in to the whim of spontaneous generosity. The radio station that just came on, it's 97.3 out of Duluth and 98.7 here or something. Every Friday they have, I can't remember what they call it, but basically they're asking you to pay for the person behind you in line at the drive-thru. It's kind of like a random act of kindness. You pay for yours, you pay for the person behind you. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Just out of the blue, just do something nice. And here's what God said. Jesus told Satan when he was being tempted, you're not supposed to try God, you're not supposed to test God. But in Malachi chapter 3, verse 10, Malachi was talking about tithing, and he said this, "Test me in this and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have room for it." He's saying, if you would give what I'm asking you to give, just listen to your heart, listen to the Spirit in you, and give what I'm asking you to give, you're going to be so blessed, you won't even be able to hold it. Might not be financially, but it might be health, it might be friends, it could be all sorts of different things. But you won't have room for the blessings that I want to give you. As we begin to reap what we sow and understand that situation, it might not come automatically, it might not come immediately, but it is going to come. There's that factor of time in there. That's why Galatians said, or Paul said this to the Galatians, Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. The results are certain, but the timing is, we're not sure when it's going to happen, but it will happen. Let's pray. Father God, I thank you for your goodness to us. I thank you for your faithfulness to us. And God, I just pray that we might in these areas begin to practice the edge of the boomerang, where we begin to get back what we sow, where what we do comes back to us, and it is a harvest of good. That kindness, the words that we speak, the way we use our money, God, just help us to, in everything, be able to look to you and follow your guidance. We just thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.